appreciate this day so much. It's been so beautiful. And we appreciate all days, whether it's raining, snowing, or sleeting, or sunny. But be with this council throughout this evening, throughout this meeting, and let us make good decisions and right decisions for our people. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Shirley, will you do roll call, please?
Jody Fisher.
Here.
Denise Taylor. Here. Jack Baker.
Here.
Harley Buzzer.
Here.
Joe Bird.
Indeed.
Julia Coates.
Here.
Janelle Fulbright.
Present.
Dawn Garvin. Frankie Hargis.
Present.
China Glory Jordan. Present. Lee Keener. Dick Lay.
Here.
Curtis Snell.
There.
David Thornton.
Mahoney.
David Walkingstick. Kara Cowan Watts. We do have a quorum.
Okay, do I hear a motion for the approval of minutes in toto?
Make a motion to be approved.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Ayes have it. On to reports. Lacey?
Number 2, I'd like to add to the agenda today.
Okay.
I'd like to add a discussion and possible action Cherokee Nation smoke shops.
Okay, make it new business number item 4.
Yes.
Discussion, possible action. Discussion is the Cherokee Nation smoke shops. Okay?
Yeah, we have.
Yes. Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor of adding item number 4 to talk about the smoke shops, say aye. Aye. All those opposed? It's made number 4. Okay. Mrs. Horn.
Thank you. Good afternoon, council. Well, it's September 26th, and we're very busy with year-end, preparing for a 9/30 close and beginning fiscal year 14 on 10/1. So if the council has any payments that needs to get made, make sure that you get those in on the calendar deadline that we've sent to your staff. So just a reminder. If you wanted to apply to this fiscal year for goods and services received in this fiscal year, we need to get those, I believe, is it October the 4th? Yes, October the 4th. And one thing that you'll be seeing very soon, I don't have a copy of it here with me, and because it's electronic, is what's called a Popular Annual Financial Report, or what we acronymize as the PAFR. And that's not a name that we came up with. It's a name that was titled by the Government Finance Officers Association for governments to take their comprehensive annual financial report, which you all received back in, I guess it'd be the very end of March, beginning of April. Those are the big red books that have every piece of financial detail for the nation and all its subsidiary component units for the fiscal year ending 2012. And through a collaboration with finance staff and staff in the communications department, they have gone through the GFOA's checklist on requirements for completing and preparing a popular annual financial report for the Cherokee Nation. And we submitted that a couple of months ago. And we haven't released it. It's kind of just never been a good time. Wanted to put it out, then we'd forget about it, and then now here we're coming up on 9/30, and it's just time to let it out. But this was inspired by an elder in my community who spoke to me about the need for really easily digestible financial reports from the nation. You know, the PAFR is 130-something pages. The CAFR is 130-something pages, and this is closer to 16. And so look for that to come out. Really easy pie charts, bar graphs, condensed information, and general information on the programs and departments of the nation. So it is submitted for consideration by GFOA for award. We'd love to get the award right out of the chute, but and it is important to note that there's never been a PAFR submitted by an Indian tribe in the past, so this is the very, very first. So we're excited about that. And that's all I have on my verbal report today. If there's anything that I can answer for the council, I'd be happy to.
Any questions of Mrs. Horn?
I've got it.
Okay, Councilman Buzzard?
Lacey, on this report, employee performance incentive 49%. Since I'm new, what is that?
That's a budget that accomplishes a couple of different things. When there are certain bonuses, like the Christmas bonus, I'm just going to kind of take you through the fiscal year. There's a amount set aside within that budget for programs that can't afford to pay that Christmas bonus. We'll use that to help pay. It is also used to put on the employee appreciation parties, the Christmas party, and then it pays for the all employee appreciation party that we just had, I guess last week. So yeah, so you'll see that tick up in the next month's report.
Then I had a follow-up question too. I've just been hearing rumors, and I don't know about the employees' compensation for this next year. Is it going to be across the board raise, or is it going to be a bonus, or?
It's an across the board 3% lump sum.
3%. Do they have a choice whether to take a lump sum or?
No.
It's gonna be-
No. And this was done, obviously it's allowed in HR policy. It's in any merit increase is at the discretion of management and the chief as well. It's a way for us to sort of hedge this sequester, really. We're losing funding, and in order for us to be sustainable, in some budgets would be able to sustain compensation increases better than others. But in order for us to look across the board and look at how we can sustainably compensate our employees for merit purposes, and then not have that compound against us in future years. It's kind of a way for us to slow up, but it's great if they get this big chunk of money up front at the beginning of the year, whether they work the whole year or not. So we're banking on a lot of employees keeping their jobs.
Some people like it and some don't, but,
Yeah.
I wouldn't like it so much. Anyway, thank you. Thank you.
Councilwoman Fulbright?
Thank you. Well, Councilor Buzzard brought up something that a lot of my constituents have called about, and they've all been mad. They've been longtime employees, and they say this is just a way around of giving them the lump sum is not good. They wanted it added on to their base. And that this is just like a one-time stipend, the way they look at it, and they don't like it. And they're not only mad at their supervisors, they're mad at everybody all the way on up to the chief. And I've just heard it from everywhere I go. They're upset and angry about it. And I did have one employee, he said, I've been here a long, long time, and through the years, once in a while, we do, it's a stipend. It's not added onto our base. But I'm just kind of passing on the sentiments of the people that I hear from, that they're upset about it. And another thing, Councilor Buzzard mentioned the Christmas bonus. I've been told by them, the employees, we're not getting a Christmas bonus. And I said, well, I don't think that has been decided yet. Whether you will or you won't.
Okay, to address the Christmas bonus, I will say that the chief has asked me to begin preparing. Obviously, we're in a bit of an uncertain situation as far as the federal budget goes. We're looking at a government shutdown that could happen as early as next week. And what that continuing resolution looks like whenever it comes out, we don't know. So I can't really definitively advise the chief on a Christmas bonus at this point in time. Hopefully, we'll know more in a month. My directive has been to go ahead and begin preparing for it. And to address your concern, and I appreciate you voicing that, and this was not an easy decision, but it was one that was made with the intent of sustainability, with the intent of keeping people in their jobs. And as many people in their jobs as possible, because if we increase salaries year after year after year after year, it compounds the issue where federal appropriations are consistently shrinking on us.
Well, I told them in hard economic times, you're lucky to have a job and to get a stipend. but that's not what they want. I'm just passing on the sentiments of all
Sure.
the people who've called me. But I've tried to tell them, you know, that we're doing the best we can. But when they're angry, they don't want to listen to you very well. But I'm just kind of passing along what people tell me. And
They got all the same benefits of having it included in their base, but they just got it up front. They got the 401k match. They got, I mean, who doesn't like a chunk of money? You know, one-time chunks are hard to come by.
oh, that's all.
Thank you.
Councilman Thornton.
Yes. What my question is on the taxes, federal taxes, state taxes. What's the difference between them getting this funding by the month and getting it in one lump sum? Is it the same amount of taxes taken out of it or not?
Can I see if I can find an answer for you very soon? I would have to consult our payroll staff too.
And if they did receive this on their payroll monthly, would that up their 401k any?
So if they did receive it monthly, yes, it
Can
would.
they pay in on a 401k and have it matched with a one-time payment? A 1 month, you know, what you're talking about?
Less taxes are paid if you.
I would have to consult our plan document on the 401k. I don't know that answer.
Okay,
Would be
Yes.
to anybody from HR
I
here.
appreciate that.
Okay, sure.
To both those questions. Finished. Dave, are you finished?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, Councilwoman Watts.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think the issue for me is that there was a lack of choices and the communication doesn't seem to be there. So there's been a lot of confusion, I think, to the point of the other council members' comments, is that people didn't understand how this money was to be taxed. They didn't understand overhead as cost associated with them, if there's overhead, so to speak, in any terms of not just taxation, but the 401k cost, you know, if there was payment in and those kind of things. And they took back for a number of reasons. There wasn't a choice, whether it was a lump sum or over the term of their year or the fiscal year. And then I think there's a lot of confusion, especially given the headlines, that we're making all this money, but yet we're facing sequestration. And so these employees want to know why they're not sharing in this money that's coming in. So that needs to be communicated very clearly to them. This stuff needs to be explained. Any of the payroll issues need to be explained in better detail. And if there's any way that they can have an option, whether it's over several, you know, the year of paychecks versus one lump sum, some people know that that's how they need to budget. And it's a difference. And if you get one lump sum, is the concern that that money will be gone, which is not on us, but if they have the option, then that gives them more control over their situation. I think that a lot of the concerns might be addressed if we did that.
Okay.
It definitely needs to be explained, not just the logistics of the paycheck and those things, but the whole entire economic, where we're at economically, not just as a government, but our businesses and how they're in that. Thank you.
And if I,
One last
if-
question. This is different. Where are we at on contingency reserve and other cash reserves? Any of our reserve funds, I need to know where we're at. And
Okay.
I'd like a written report, if you can talk to it verbally too.
I can, and if I could go back to the merit pay. Employees have not been given a choice on taking it as an increase to base or as a lump sum for several years now. That was a policy decision made by the previous administration, and so we're still working off of those same policies. And so the employees haven't had that option for a while. And then as far as the communication goes, the communication did give them information on how to opt out of, I believe it was the 401k match. Wait, no, it wasn't, no, wait, you can't opt out of 401k, I'm sorry. Withholdings, to change their withholdings. So they were given very specific instructions on the withholding.
For the year or for just this lump sum amount?
For just the lump sum amount. And they can always go and change their withholding at HR at any time. And then as far as the overhead is concerned, I'm not quite clear on the concerns surrounding that. And then, the headlines, the businesses, which I would say is most of the headlines of where we're talking about increased revenues. I think we've been very clear in the headlines as far as the Phoenix is concerned that we're in a period of declining budgets. And I've been very candid with the Phoenix in those interviews. And then as far as the contingent cash reserve is concerned, it's fully funded at the legal minimum, $4,468,000.
And so if we were to shut down, remind me, just for my sake, if we were to shut down tomorrow because, and I know we're forward funded, so this is not reality, but if it were, the money were to turn off, so to speak, tomorrow on federal funds, that would get us through one payroll period or two?
Oh, no. If we continued at the rate that we're going today, I'm going to give you a range because it's dependent upon different scenarios. How do you want to run the nation if the government shuts down? And we've been looking at those scenarios and determining. But if the federal government shuts down at the beginning of the fiscal year, I mean, realistically, we're talking anywhere from 3 to 7 months that we could still operate.
On that 4.5, on the reserve?
Oh, no, not on this reserve. On our cash reserves, we've got millions of dollars in the bank. I mean, our IHS is forward funded. NAHAZA, there's money in the bank there. We have carryover reserves that are from prior years. There's significant cash reserves on hand.
Okay, so with the tribal law reserve, the amount reserved under tribal law and the forward funding in certain departments, depending on the level of operations we maintain, it would be 4 to 7 months from October 1. I guess it's October 16th or 17th is actually the trigger date, is that right? It's not the first day of fiscal year, it's like 2 or 3 weeks in. All I can do is read the news, so you're gonna have to help me. So it'd be not from October 1, but middle of October, is that correct?
Well, the Secretary of State has said that October 16th is the debt ceiling debate. October 1 is the beginning of the fiscal year. And so what we've been told by individuals that know is even if the government does shut down on October 1, and let's say they stay closed until October the 5th, we won't have grants that begin on October the 5th. It'll be back to October 1.
Okay. I think I understood that.
Okay.
I
Did I
gotta
not
make
say that
sure
right?
that I understand it enough when these people ask me questions, which we're getting questions. I mean, people read the news, so they're asking, and especially the employees after they got the lump sum deals, so. Okay, very good. Oh, and when are we gonna hear the plans? I mean, if we have the purse strings, don't we have to approve any changes? I mean, when are we gonna start considering what has to happen? Is it gonna be after the fact, or when are we getting that presentation about what to do next?
Meaning what to do next?
Like, so I don't know, Chairwoman Fishing Hawk, is this something that you're in discussions with them about, or have we been filled in somehow, or?
Lacey, can you answer a question?
I can answer the question as to what will happen if the government shuts down on 10/1. And we're told that if the government shuts down, because this is the intel, I guess, speaking here, we're looking at a shutdown from anywhere from 2 days to 2 weeks. That it'll be a very short one. Obviously, that's just a prediction. But if there is a shutdown, we'll go into an automatic hiring freeze where there are positions frozen in not only non-essential positions, which we have had frozen for a while, but essential positions, so that we sort of stabilize and we're not taking on any additional charges. Largely, what we're going to be doing for the next several weeks, month, is paying bills from FY13. And so we're not going to be incurring a whole lot of additional costs in the first month of 14. And then we'll be back into the cost containment measures that were outlined in the sequester memo. So that would be the first step. If it looks like it's going to be a longer battle, then we'll have to move on to second phase considerations.
Okay, and I'm trying to refresh my memory because it's been a while since we've talked about sequestration, but did you have that PowerPoint for us or something that shared kind of what that looked like for phase 2, that we go into that, or?
No. A PowerPoint?
I don't know, something. I'm looking for a plan. You know, if people ask me questions, they expect a council person to know. And right now, I'm pretty frustrated because I don't feel like I know. I don't know how everybody else feels, but I'd like to answer these questions. So apparently somebody has a plan. Is it something you can share with us, or are we waiting for it to happen and it's too late? I mean, help me out here.
She just shared.
I mean, at this point, what I've given you is the plan. I mean, is it worth it to expend resources and more time to document something out to that effect when we're in a bit of uncertainty? It's constantly evolving. This is all new. The sequester, no one's been through this before. And we are, I promise you, continually honing our plan on how we're going to handle things.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman, thank you.
Councilman Garvin?
Like we just now went over a lot of things I was interested in asking about, but I'm not sure what year they shut down before. Hadn't been too long, but it'll affect the new people being hired, won't it? And
Yes.
what other things will it affect?
For us, yes, but our employees and the services will see no difference. I mean, assuming that, you know, this is a period less than 4 to 7 months.
Well, will the money continue to come, or will they shut that off, or delay it?
That's a question that we have too. You know, are they going to shut down the drawdown systems where we have reimbursable grants? We don't know that answer.
What about the last time? How did they do it?
That'd have been
96.
94. I can find out. I bet I know somebody who knows.
Chief Byrd just told you.
96. Doug, you remember that? We had to do a hiring freeze and we did a line of credit for our federal employees through Maurice Box, and Larry Reeser gave us line of credit for federal Cherokee employees. I'm not sure the link. Doug, do you remember?
I don't recall how long
Did you sell the plane?
counselor had lasted, but
We wanted to. We wanted to sell the plane, but we didn't.
it's not, it wasn't like 5 or 6 months.
No, it was more like 30 days, 45 days.
Coming in the 80s.
It wasn't fun, Councilor Garvin.
It was
Very
not.
difficult, very difficult.
Well, I think it's going to affect travel and things like that. The ones that run those towers, I don't know. I think they all get laid off, don't they? And anybody traveling better be careful, because you may not be able to fly. Okay,
Okay, Speaker Jordan?
thank you very much.
Okay, here's what I'm hearing. You all have a plan in place that will allow us, if the federal government shuts down, we need to emphasize that's the federal government that's shutting down. You have a plan in place that would allow us to continue operating on the government side dollars.
Yes.
For a 3 to 7 month period.
Yes.
And that's not taking into consideration that back in 1996, we didn't have the kind of business arm that we have now, that has the kind of bottom line that it has now. So there's always the possibility we can tap into that if we decided that was a need. Where versus on the federal government side, when they say shut down, they mean federal employees go home. So we are in a position, and of course this government body here will have a large input into that, we're in a position to keep our government running, where the federal government stops.
Yes, ma'am.
That's correct.
So I believe that we need to give the executive branch some leeway because they have a contingency plan in place. I agree with her. Do we need to expend millions of dollars planning for something that may not happen? This happened last fall. This happened in the 90s. This happened in the 80s because I remember my dad was in line to get his paycheck cashed at the old, it's now called Bank First, it was another bank, and the teller told him, well, the guy in front of you got the last Cherokee Nation money. So he had a check that he couldn't essentially cash. But folks, they've done as much planning probably as one can do for a catastrophe situation that is based on somebody else's decision. We can't make the federal government continue operating. We can't make the legislative body of the federal government stop fighting over who's going to be in control. We can only plan, and I think we've done darn good if we plan for 3 months out, if we plan for 7 months out, because my 2 brothers will be going home that day. Because they work for the federal government. They've already been told if it happens, you go home that day. We're at least going to be able to tell our people, come to work again tomorrow, you're going to get the same paycheck. We're going to try to hold on, and we're going to see what happens with the federal government side. So I commend you for what you all in your branch of government have done thus far. Do we all need to be included? We do need to be included at a certain point, but we're going to get 17 different ideas, just like we get 17 different ideas on whether to give them a lump sum of money or whether to give them a 3% on their paycheck. I personally like Mr. Thornton's idea. I understood what he was saying. They might want to pay it all towards their 401 and get a match.
But you can,
I mean, I'm just saying, I think I understood what he was saying.
yeah, I know that, and that's what I hear, you know, out in the public. But if we did that, then we'd have to come up, they'd have to come up with 6
a
more
match.
percent of the 33.
But I'm thinking that's a creative thing. I don't know that can be done. She's going to check into that. But I understood what you were saying when you started talking about it. I think that you're doing the best you can. I'm sure other tribes are planning for the same contingencies. We're still, I believe, is it 76 cents on the dollar or 78 cents on the dollar funded by the federal government?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is a very real problem for us, but I believe they're probably doing the best they can at this point in time, and it's not taking into consideration what might come from our business arm, and we have a very healthy business arm. I checked, when we were talking about raises, I checked with someone that is working for county government, and they said they hadn't had a raise in 7 years. And they said, folks, you ought to be glad you're getting a raise every year. I'm not saying that satisfies our people, because I've had people say, I would rather have the 3% on my bottom line than a lump sum. But I hope everyone realizes we're a healthy government right now. Healthy government compared to other county, state, and federal governments. But we're very healthy right now, and I sense what you're trying to do is keep us healthy.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's all I got to say.
Okay,
That was a
Chief
statement, not a question. You don't have to take nothing back to look up.
I appreciate your comments.
Madam Chair, that was well said. I don't know if we could add anything to it. You guys have done a good job in having a contingency plan. Continue your work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions for Lacey? Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Oh, I do have a question, Lacey.
Yes, ma'am.
I know there was some trouble here and back, and there was some discussion about one of our departments filling some positions that wasn't in the budget,
Yes.
that wasn't presented in the budget. I believe the Election Commission might have done the same thing. I need you to check it out. Jody will know what I'm talking about. You can get with him.
Can work with Jody? Thank
Yes.
you.
Okay, Sean Slayton or Doug Evans? Hello, Doug.
A little shorter, but. Hello, council. It's good to see all of you again. So
Certainly a privilege to stand here before you again. I appreciate the warm response from those I was able to talk to before the meeting. Sean's on travel today and has asked me to step in on his behalf to report to you. For the month that we're reporting, the month of July, and for the month we booked slightly under $8 million of net income. That did fall below our aggressive goal of slightly over $10 million. With that shortfall on net income coming from primarily the gaming group, we are experiencing a 1.5 to 2.5 point drop on the market on gaming revenue against our budget. However, compared to prior year, I do want to qualify that against FY12's results. We're still double digit ahead of where we were last year. We're just not quite hitting the high goals that was set in the budget process. On a regional and national gaming market, we are getting very good evidence indicating that that market's at a 12 to 14% drop, especially on the southeast and northeast coast. Here in the central part of the country, that's around a 7 to 8%. So we're experiencing around 1.5. So we're holding market. I think even grabbing more share, which is a tribute to our gaming group. We did have a few things happen in the month of July that contributed to that as well. We did have some unbudgeted expenses related to a turn lane at the Muskogee property. That was approximately $300,000 that contributed to that as well, and a settlement with one of our partially owned subs that had been in litigation for quite a while, several years. So we're able to close that out and settle that for considerably less than what was anticipated earlier. That's on the financial side. On our employment, we're at 75.3% Cherokee, with 7% in addition to that of other native, for a total of 82.2% at an employment level of 5,715. And of that 5,715, 1,020 are government contract employees. That's what I have, Madam Chairman. Have any questions, I'd be happy to.
Any questions of
try to
that?
answer them.
Okay. Councilwoman Watt?
Thank you, Chairwoman. So tell me again how we're gonna fund these $100 million deal, and like, are we getting paid back, or how does this work on the healthcare projects? Because it's coming through C&B, and you're the CFO, so I was trying to figure out.
It's $100 million is in our capital budget to be expended over the next 2 years.
So you're giving them to us then?
We're expending them to build the buildings on our leases with the properties.
Okay,
What happens
so you're
after
gonna
we
get
build
money-
them, there'll be either a lease would occur where there'll be rents paid to CMB as an occupant of those facilities, or there would be a form of a non-cash dividend. One of the two. I don't know any other either free rent or rent or give the property. One of the three. I don't know any other options that there would be at that point.
So you guys own all the property, or we own the property?
You own the property.
Okay.
We will.
What committee is this getting discussed in?
Well, it's not being discussed in any committees any longer. That
There's
passed
no-
the board in, I want to,
But it
September.
doesn't sound like the
last
deal's been
September, October,
structured.
2012.
I mean, C&B is in business to make money, right?
Yes.
So I don't hear the make money part. Where's the make money part being discussed?
Well, the board felt as though it would be a hard pill to swallow to make money on our own shareholder. So when they chose to invest instead of companies out of state or out of country or wherever, to invest in the healthcare system within the 14 counties. That way, they realized that a return back to the shareholder can come in a cash dividend, but can also come in the form of a healthcare system or a facility or.
And this won't be in lieu of the dividend, this will be in addition to the dividend?
Yes, ma'am.
And what are we foregoing in order to do this on the C&B on the business side?
We're not foregoing any of our expansion projects. We're still moving forward with them.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
I just want to commend the board on being willing not to make money on the back of its shareholders. Please pass that along to
I think one
Very
thing
commendable.
that, absolutely, I'd be happy to, and one other thing that, that came out in those discussions was that when we make $1 in the businesses, the Cherokee Nation will receive 35 cents of that dollar in the form of a dividend, but these dollars that we invest now we've already made these dollars. This is coming out of cash that is retained by the businesses. Out of our 65% retained earnings after dividend, so the 65 cents that's left, we're taking a piece of that, a small piece of that, and reinvesting it where the nation can get 100% dividend on that dollar.
We have the most diversified business board that I have seen, and I think they're all a class act. Speaker Jordan?
Well, I would just suggest to you that this government and this business arm exists for the people. And I can think of no better thing to invest our money in than the health of our people. We ask you all to step up. You did step up. I'm extremely proud of the fact that under your board and this government, $100 million is going to be put into our people's health. I can think of no better place for the dollar to go. And should we make a profit on the health of our people? I never even envisioned that. I wonder if anyone sitting here, other than maybe a couple, envisioned that. I thought we were here to serve the people, and the money we make is to serve the people. That's all I just want to put that out and make that comment.
Okay. Councilman Buzzer?
Appreciate you.
Doug, have we closed on that property there in Delaware County and Northern County?
I believe so, yes.
We have. Okay. I just know this is just a comment. I'm just wondering, I see where you bought the new vehicle. Did they buy the gas-powered vehicle?
Regular fuel?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, we're in the process right now of going out for a alternative energy vehicle to use as a pilot, and to use that in one of our properties security group, which primarily does lot surveillance and short runs, staying on property, and it's going to be one of the first alternative energy initiatives that we're doing with the vehicle and the fuel. Anxious to see how that works in our environment.
Good. Glad to hear that. Got a follow-up question too. I was just noticing on 193rd, they're tearing that old building down. Is that our property there? Where they're building the super center?
No, sir.
Okay. Do we own any of that property over on that side now?
Not that I'm aware of. The east side of the road? No, I don't believe we do. If we do, I'm not aware of it.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
I got a question for the speaker. And Speaker, you can tell me if I'm online. Is there a certain way that we could commend the board, and adopt a resolution for their acts?
Well, we can always, anyone that wants to bring a resolution forth to this body in recognition of other boards or other individuals can be done.
Okay. We ought to do that next month. Deputy Speaker Fulbright.
Thank you. I was wondering if you could, since Sean's not here, take his place, give us a little update on Blue Ribbon Downs, what's going on down there. The demolition team is down there, and you know anything about it?
I'm sorry, Madam Fulbright, I don't. I haven't been involved in those discussions in
Okay.
that project.
We'll save it for him.
Any other questions of Doug? Doug, it was nice seeing you again.
I see all of you. Thank you.
Diane Kelly. Between you and Doug and Joe, you knew all the answers.
I don't know. I just want to say that Career Service has been working with C&B. We've been working with Vivian and Bob very closely on a lot of the day training positions at Catoosa, Roland, and West Siloam Springs. We are revamping and moving some of the counselors around, and our day training program will shut down as of tomorrow. I'm going to look at Council. He's not even in here. I was going to look at Councilman Thornton because he usually says, "What about my project?" Anyway, if there are specific projects, those people were actually requested last month to get with Jeff, and he's working with them on any of the C and B positions. We're not shutting those down, but we're shutting the others down, which will allow us time to go in and audit our cards that are in the outlining areas, and it'll also allow us to audit our ISAs from the paperwork. We'll start back up as of October the 6th. We've got an overabundance of people coming in that are probably going to need to be drug tested. So October the 6th, we plan to do a sweep of drug testing throughout on all of the clients who walk in the door, and then from there on out, we'll be doing some random. We are getting a lot more clients coming in that are having problems, and as a result of it, met with Dr. Montgomery last week, and he has set up a meeting with us to meet with Dr. Boyd tomorrow, and we're going to be working out a plan with behavioral health so that when we detect somebody on the drug test, that we will be referring them to the behavioral health, and then they're going to actually work with us to get something back to us so that we'll know that they're able to go out and actually be put back into the training mode and working with the job sites. We've had a lot of our job sites internally who have requested not to have certain individuals back at the training site because of that.
There's your council member.
Speaker Jordan.
That's okay.
I just wanted to make sure now that yearly where we stop day work is to reconcile our books, right?
Yes, it is.
And it's only about a 10-day process?
Yes, because we have to go out in the field offices and audit our cards, and Deborah and Zach have to do that. And we do this so that we can keep everything above board and we don't have any problems out there.
And you reminded me of something else, so I'll just let you guys know. Nobody gave me a exemption yet, and I'm going to have to pull the trigger on your drug testing really pretty quick in the next. I'm just telling you, if you need to be exempt because of your medicine, remember I gave those forms out to you? You need to fill them out and turn them back in.
I didn't see the form.
We gave them out in a meeting. See Gail, because it makes a difference, then I don't have to order so many of them they're $38 a piece. And I don't want to pay for them if I don't need to. Okay, thank y'all. Thank you.
I know that some of you all called me in regards to some of the clients who were working with Andy. Andy has been out sick, but Andy's back, and we're getting him some help for backup because he's got some medical issues. And we are actually going to have 2 people that are going to be working with him on any of our OJTs and the referrals on our C and B transportation. We've also got several meetings that are coming up, and I told you last month that I get a draft out to you on NCAI. I have not been able to get the draft from Amy Gay or Bernita, and hopefully they'll have that out, and as soon as they get it out, we'll all give it to Gail and she can get it out to you all, because I know that several of y'all are planning to come up. We had a meeting with Deputy Chief over lunch, and Deputy Chief said that he would take into consideration your all's request about not having that election at 7 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday. He will announce it probably Tuesday afternoon. It'll probably be sometime Wednesday afternoon. And he is planning his reception for his bid Tuesday evening at the NCAI. And then I believe Chairman or Chief Tiger is planning his on Monday, and the River Phoenix, I guess their groundbreaking is on Tuesday at 1 o'clock. So they're going to be inviting everybody over. So I just wanted to let you know there's going to be a lot of stuff going on here in the next several weeks. The NCAI, Cherokee Nation Hard Rock is going to be hosting 2 big events. One is the welcome reception on the 13th, which is on a Sunday evening. It will be in the parlors up on the 2nd floor as you come in off of the parking garage. You'll just come on around past Sean's office area and go on around to the parlors, and that's where the welcome reception will be. And we'd sure like to have all of y'all up there so that you could meet and greet everybody when they come in. And we will have some girls there. I think Miss Cherokee and maybe Junior Miss, I think, are going to be there in their tear dresses, and they're going to be welcoming people as they come in. We will have some entertainment. and we will have some door prizes. There will be some speakers, and then on Wednesday, we have a cultural dance, and then Cherokee Nation is hosting the cultural meal, and then on Thursday, there is an elders luncheon, and Cherokee Nation is one of the sponsors for that, and then that evening is the banquet. And so there's a lot of events going on. We also have our 102477 conference that will be at the Hard Rock October the 28th through the 31st, and that's employment and training. And Kim Carroll is up there in Tulsa right now, so she'll have that draft that we'll send out to you. And then on November the 21st, put this on your calendar, this is our annual tarot vendor fair and our annual tarot banquet, and it will be at the Hard Rock, and it's on a Thursday. And we'll be getting information out. So I'm going to be giving Gail a lot of information here in the next week, probably Monday, and she'll be getting that circulated out to you. We've got field days scheduled at some of your requests. I believe it was you, Councilman Lay, you asked us about going to Bartlesville and also to Nowata. I have visited with Gary Cooper at the Housing Authority, and he's working with me and John Stroud, and they're trying to identify somebody who can work up there at that Housing Authority the days that the housing person is there, so that we don't have just one person in that office by themselves because of where it's located. And we're going to have field days up there at least 2 times a month. And then I am working with Linda at the Nowata Clinic so that she can give us a schedule of some days that John Stroud could use that conference room there a couple of times a month. And John Stroud will be going back to Veneta 3 days a week, and he'll be in Claremore 2 days a week. We also have a clerk there at the Veneta office, so we are trying to get people up there in those locations. Brenda Fitzgerald is back. She's been gone for about 3 weeks, and she is back. She's going to be kind of in and out for a while. I wanted to share with you that in our last meeting, you asked us to do some due diligence and to do some follow-up. We have had a meeting with the AG's office, and we've had a couple of meetings with C&B. And we're in the process of trying to get something back to you. You gave us 3 months at the last meeting. We told you that we'd give you a progress report this month, and I just want you to know that grass isn't growing under our feet. We are moving along, and that we hope to have something for you all next month. And the data is being compiled by C&B, and we're going to be sitting down sometime here in the next couple of weeks with them. So I just want to let you know that we are working on what you requested us to do. Speaker Jordan.
She reminded me of something that I needed to remind all of you all about. If you need NCAI arrangements, see Carla back there, and she will take care of those arrangements for you. And I believe you have to be signed up in order to vote, is my understanding. You have to pay the registration fee in order to vote, and this is a very important election because we may be able to keep the state, the leadership within our state this time.
Mm-hmm.
It's very important that we all consider going to NCAI.
Okay. Chief Burke.
That's correct. Diane, I want to thank you for sharing that information with us. I know you've spent an enormous amount of time in making this work. Just keep us abreast on what functions are going to be taking place at Hard Rock so we can be part of that. And I'd like to commend our chairman as well for getting with our CEO and making those accommodations for those rooms that you arranged, Joe. I appreciate that, because the rest of us didn't do it.
Once we find out what days you guys are going up, we may ask you all to help us with some of the events that we've got going on in the evening, like going around to some of the caucuses, if you don't mind, because that would help us to have some strength in numbers for some of those caucus meetings.
You got walking stick Kerry. He's got a lot of energy, so just let us know.
We will. Thank you so much.
I think we have so many staying at Hard Rock of all the tribes that there is a shuttle being arranged, and I believe the chairperson.
Yes, I think you did do that.
George Roach is in charge of transportation, and he will give you his number, and he'll make sure that you get where you need to go.
And then I think the CEO said that to pass on to the speaker that they would have any shuttles you all needed.
Yes, we met with Molly and Lacey and that group last week at the Hard Rock, and Molly said that she's working with her staff, and there will be other drivers that can help out to get you all where you need to go. So we just need to make sure that we get your schedules when you're there and when you're going to need to go at various places. A lot of the caucus meetings are going to start on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday morning at 7 o'clock in the morning. But we're going to try to have our reception and our election at a different time, so just wanted to let you know that.
When is the election?
He's wanting to know when the election is, you're thinking again?
The area vice president elections are after the first half of the convention, and they have to be announced on the floor, so Joe would have to announce when that's going to be. We're in the process right now of trying to get a room there at the DoubleTree for them to have that. It won't be at 7 o'clock. It'll be more like noon or later that afternoon. And then the big election for the president, vice president, secretary, treasurer will be Thursday morning on the General Assembly floor.
Okay.
Speaker?
I just want to commend Diane Kelly because 2 years ago, Chairman Fish and Hawk, we went to Portland, Oregon, and Diane Kelly will work you to death, by the way. She said she would has some need for assistance. Folks get ready to be there till 10 to 12 at night, because we would get up before daylight and we would come back to the hotel after dark, and Diane Kelly was already lining out what we needed to do the next day. But the point I wanted to make was she set the framework 2 years ago for this national meeting to come to the Tulsa area.
Yes.
One of many things that Diane Kelly does for us. I remember she helped us put together presentations for other groups and meetings for other groups, and it paid off, folks, because that's bringing in millions upon millions of dollars during that week of October 13th to the Tulsa area, and especially to the Hard Rock, which was the very reason that we wanted to get them to Tulsa. All the hotels, all the eating facilities, all the rental cars, the airlines, everybody is getting the benefit of what this woman did 2 years ago, and I want to thank her for that. She deserves a round of applause.
Well, I can tell you that after today's meeting, Joe Crittenden will have some surprises for you, because he will have some T-shirts and some caps for you guys to wear for him. So we'll get those to you.
Okay, Commerce, Anna Knight. She's a hard act to follow, Anna.
Huh?
She's a hard act to follow.
She's always a hard act to follow. Councilor Walking Stick asked me last month for the number of commercial and consumer loans that we have, and so on this sheet I've provided both the number that we have, the dollars outstanding, the average monthly applications that we get, and then the approval ratio. And our approval ratio is actually quite high. We really work hard with both the business clients and the consumer loans to try to help them develop an application that can be approved, whether that be through budgeting or business plan development. I did also want to make sure to remind everyone about the Northeast Oklahoma Regional Summit on October 8th. I know you guys have the agenda. I'm happy to make registration arrangements for you if you'd like. 3 of the speakers that are going to be very interesting will be, the first speaker is going to talk about the future of the economy. This whole thing is about forward thinking and the future. At lunch, Dr. Eduardo Sanchez, the Deputy Chief Medical Officer for the American Heart Association, is going to talk about healthy communities and how communities play a part in the health of their residents. And then in one of the afternoon panels, we had the lady from Arkansas that started a grassroots movement that stopped the rural school consolidation in Arkansas, and that should be a very interesting session too. So I'm happy to register any of you that can come. Just shoot me an email, and if you need another look at the agenda, it's at neokregion.org. Other than that, if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
And I appreciate you delivering this to us. Now, you did designate someone, or you're going to designate someone to write these grants for these loans, employee loans?
We we will write them. We just received word that we were awarded the CDFI Financial Assistance Award again of $750,000, and it'll go into consumer, the commercial loan program. So this year's application that comes up will do part or all of it towards the consumer program.
That'd be great. I appreciate your work. Thanks. Thank you. Sure.
Any other questions?
I got a question. The IDCD grant that you got for $800,000, is that all the tribe got this year?
The ICDBG, it's the maximum we're eligible for.
Okay. Good.
Thank you. The Historical Society. No one here? Okay. On down to consent items. The tarot certifications. I just now got a message that on page 9, the JX Cattle Company LLC has been asked to be stricken from the consent items for tarot. So please make that change in your books. And do I hear a motion?
I so moved.
Okay, I hear a motion, a second. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Okay. Okay, on to the cemetery. Jody?
I think you're going to see that you have new handouts for all of the remaining consent items on the cemetery. There's 6, looks like there's 1 duplication there, so I'll point that out to her. There's 5, Star Cemetery, Carl Reynolds Jr., Cherokee County. Flute Spring Cemetery, Anita Christie, Sequoyah County. Linder Bend Cemetery, Charla No Fire, Sequoyah County. Rock Fence Cemetery, Aretha Stan, Adair County. And Boudinot Cemetery, James Chaffin, Sequoyah County. Cherokee County, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Boudinot Cemetery, I guess that's how it's pronounced, is duplicated on there. I'll make sure that's a duplication.
Okay, do I have a motion?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Ayes have it. On to the community assistance.
There is also a new report on community assistance. It's handed out.
Yes, yes.
Have you received the new one?
Yeah, you all have got the brand new one in front of you. You need to look at it, see if you have any unspent monies. Councilman Thornton?
I need to make a change on mine. On page 4 or 5.
Okay.
I need to take out the Beggs Community Building for 512
Take that out.
and replace it with Gore Methodist Food Pantry.
Gore, what was it, Food Pantry?
Gore Methodist Food Pantry.
Methodist Food Pantry.
Got a lot of Methodists.
Okay.
Jody, I just now been told this ain't the latest one in front of us.
District 1, District 2, and District 3, are you zeroed out? Because we're not showing zeroed out over here.
This one here.
She may be doing a new one then, so.
Then we don't have the latest one over here.
See, mine's updated.
Okay, do we have some more copies?
Okay, if they do have
Mine's not zeroed out either. Let me
Yeah.
grab it.
You zeroed out at
Yeah,
the
they're not
bottom?
zeroed
They're
out.
not
Okay,
zeroed out.
she's got another one then for us.
Okay, Councilman Lake?
Okay. I think I'm zeroed out, Madam Chairman, and I've been told.
another copy.
Okay. I've been told by Gail I have 500, something happened. So I'd like to split that out between Washington County, Cherokee, and Oweta Cherokee groups, 250 each.
And Nowita?
Yes, ma'am. If that number is correct, that's what I'd like to do. Thank you.
Jody, could you get Gail in here? Please? Tell her not to wave her hand.
I would make a motion that we continue on with the agenda and come back to this at the end.
Yeah.
Give Gail a little more time because she looks like she's...
Cheryl will take that privilege and do that. Let's go on to law enforcement. I just took the privilege.
I haven't added the 30 that I got a while ago, okay? Some of you still have amounts. I haven't added the 30 that I got a while ago.
We, if I could, we have put you on the end of the agenda. So go back and continue typing.
Okay.
Jill, we love you.
I'll get to this thing I'm working on later, so don't ask me for that one yet.
You know what you want to do. Okay, Councilwoman Taylor?
On law enforcement.
Hold on, Jody. Let's go back.
Go
Councilwoman
back to
Taylor.
community assistance. There is $1,000 that was unspent in Mays County due to some paperwork not being turned in. It's actually $1,500, and that's part of your $500. Is where that, I mean, that's where that's coming from. And I would like to redirect that to the Mays County Sheriff's Department, the 1,000 that I have.
On the law enforcement or the community
No,
assistance?
it's on community assistance.
That's number,
But I would like to excuse me?
that'd be 31 for Gail.
Yes.
Okay, now, do you want to do your 500 again, while he's in here?
Okay, excuse me, yes. I think I have 500, Gail said a while ago, Jody. And if that's correct, I'll split that out between Washington County, Cherokee, and Noeda Cherokee groups.
$30 left, and I don't know how.
You got that, Jody?
And my sheet is showing I'm not zeroed out.
It's showing 0 on mine.
It is.
Yeah.
But there was 500 that was, the paperwork wasn't filled out on.
Well, mine's showing 5,000, and I'll take it if you're giving it to me, okay? You've got me zeroed out.
Yeah, the sheet that I have showing you 0. So.
On the law enforcement request.
Okay. On law enforcement, I'm not showing any this month, so.
Okay, on to roads.
Okay, you have a new roads that I handed out. And the addition is for under the motor vehicle tax, Scraper Hollow Road project for Councilman Fish and Hawk for $160,822. And the only others that was in the original packet was a refund on motor fuel tax for Council Lady Taylor, $4,260 refund from the North Broadway project. And under the special bridge funding projects, there was a $10 refund for Councilman Hargis on the Crittenton driveway. So got the 2 refunds and then $160,000 for Scraper Hollow.
Spreaker, Georgia?
Okay, let me make sure I understand, Jody, on all of the roads named, that can carry over.
Yes.
There is none of that
Right.
Will lose.
Right.
So anyone that has a balance will have that same balance next month.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Do I hear a motion for the approval of roads?
Motion.
Do I hear a second? Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Ayes have it. Sports teams?
There's one on the list for Oklahoma Rangers, Doug King, it's District 15, Mays County, $500.
Okay, and that'll be all. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor? All those opposed?
I make just one statement on that.
Yes.
Jody, and correct me if I'm wrong, but sports team money is a revolving account. It will continue on with the balance that it has next month, or will it go back in? We appropriate.
Yeah, we appropriate new money for it, so.
And same way with livestock,
Yes.
it will refresh itself.
Yeah, it'll replenish.
Okay.
It doesn't actually carry over
But we carry
technically,
funds
but,
into the
but,
new year.
yeah,
for
you
it.
have new money for it, so.
On to the livestock.
There's no new, no additions this month. I know Gail has been talking to a couple of different groups but I don't think we have the paperwork to approve any of them yet.
I was
so,
noticing Stillwell wasn't on here, and that was my question.
yeah.
You don't like some. You're the last one.
Yes.
Well, I'm surprised it's already passed. Do you happen to know if Stillwell's one of them?
I don't. I've heard her talking about livestock.
Okay.
Just on the phone, but I don't know which group she was actually talking to.
Councilwoman Watt?
Thank you. I am so confused at this point about this livestock stuff because we've already had our fair, people tried to submit paperwork, nobody knows who to submit paperwork to. Did we get this resolved? Because they're not on the list, so now I'm concerned.
Let me ask you a question. Did you have a sale with your fair? Where you actually, the animals were sold at a premium?
There was a premium sale.
Okay.
When you said sell, I was like, one day.
Some counties have it with their fair, some counties have it standalone. But if it is a premium sale and you had Cherokee children that made that premium sale, then they're eligible for the $100 out of, but your 4-H agent or your FFA advisor must gather the blue card and fill out the form. And I think that's where we're having some disconnection, because some of them know to do it and some of them don't realize it has to be submitted for your community as one form. And it will be sent to them and then dispersed out from them to the various Cherokee children.
So to my knowledge, they did this. They tried contacting the tribe sometime before the fair. And then it broke down to, I don't know why they didn't just pick up the phone as soon as they had initial problems or send us an email, because I think I was on it within minutes by chance. So then it became the problem that we were in tri-council going into the fair. They haven't, and I think they collected all this information, and I thought they would be on this list.
It is not too late. It's
Okay.
never too late with this particular fund. Sometimes we have them several months down the line because it takes them that long to, once the kids disperse, takes them that long to get their blue cards, and they must also send in their premium sheet where they actually show who made the sale. Then Gail identifies that child is on that premium sheet. She identifies there's a blue card, and then there is I think it's a 2-page application. It's all done through Gail now.
Okay, that's what I needed. Thank you.
We have brought that council initiative back to the council to take care of.
And it always has to be after the fact, because
Can't
you
be
don't,
before, because we don't know who's going to make the sale. And you have, under your new rules, that child it moves to a district or to a state show. If they have a premium sale, then that child can apply again. Because we changed that, if y'all will recall, we made it so that as they progress to a higher level, if they were fortunate enough to be able to make the sale, then we would recognize them and their animal again. So it's all done with Gail, and it should be a little more efficient. What county are you talking about, Kara? Rogers? I don't know that Rogers has ever been on there, so this may be a first time for them to try to apply. And maybe if you could get your person to talk to Gail, then we could get the papers directly to them.
I've already been emailing and getting folks to people. I'm a little bit frustrated, but I'll hold that because I don't know that it's, and it's not the first time they've been to the sale. They've had the premium sale before and participated, so I don't know what's different. Thank you.
Okay. Councilwoman Fulbright?
Thank you.
I don't know how this happened, but according to this sheet, I've got $30 left over, and I don't want to lose it.
On which one?
And I want it added on to the central JOM.
On the community assistance?
Uh-huh,
Are we gonna go,
yeah. I don't want to lose my $30 to go back. I thought it was all spent, but I don't know
And
how.
where do you want it to go to?
Central JOM. But they had 345, just whatever was left over in my fund. I don't know if that was $30 or 30 cents, but it
Oh,
was like
okay, so
$30 to me.
Central Public Schools, you want to
Uh-huh.
add it there to,
Okay, thank you.
Oh, Gail said you
Councilman
had
Lay.
0.
Councilman
I'm
Lay?
just going by- I thought it was,
You added that to somebody already, and I'm putting it on.
Okay, disregard that, Jody.
No one gets to eat at the buffet.
I have a question for
Tyler?
Madam Speaker.
Speaker?
Yes, sir. I apologize.
That's okay, excuse me. Could we get a printout or an email of what you just, of all
The policy?
Yes, ma'am.
I will have Gail print the policy for everyone, and do y'all want the policy again on the base, the ball team money too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, because we've revisited both of them in the last 6 months. I'll just have her give policies on both to everybody. Ball team and livestock. Do y'all want to look, do you want the cemetery policies too?
We may.
Everything is everything.
Okay, I will
Say it again.
tell her after we get done with the community assistance, if that'd be all right.
Okay, do I hear, okay, Stick. Is it a comment or a question?
Yeah.
Okay.
I spoke with Cherokee First. They're going to report in education in our next
That's
next
on
full council.
the one that we haven't taken, which is use the grant program. And I'm encouraging you all not to, we would have to add more staff to take that one. We just need to get them to
Think something else.
move along a little quicker. Y'all might want to revisit though how many community hours you're asking the kids to put in order to get the $200, but that's for another day.
Yeah, I was going to let you guys know that. Get questions prepared.
Okay, the livestock premium show applications, do I hear a motion for their approval?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? While Gil's getting that ready, let's go on to new business. Jody. How about the operating budget?
This is budget modification number 1, already modified in 2014. We're not even in it yet, but that's pretty funny. Total's $19,000. The first, basically, these are items that were done in 13 that were kind of after the fact when the 2014 budget was prepared, so we've got to kind of reauthorize them in 14. First item's the Cherokee Immersion Program. General fund modification requesting an increase in expenditure authorization of $5,000 from CNB donation to match Lowe's grant. And like I said, that was previously just recently done in 13, and it was not in the 2014 comprehensive budget, so it has to be reauthorized there. GED testing fees, general fund, new budget requesting an increase in expenditure authorization of $22,000 for educational support that is offset by the fees charged for GED testing. Item 3, DOI self-governance, adult education modification requesting an increase in expenditure authorization of $8,000 related to the removal of GED fees, which are going to be budgeted on the new accounting unit and 2 above. So
Any questions?
that's a net of $19,000 increase.
Any questions about the operating budget? Do I hear a motion for its
Motion to
approval? All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Okay, on to capital budget.
Again, Mod 1 for the 2014 budget, there's a net of a $5 million increase. And again, these are, things that were approved late in 2013, so they, in order to make the changes in 2014, they need to be reauthorized. The first item is facilities improvement, general fund, modification requesting a decrease in expenditure authorization of $7,242,000. It's the reserve by appropriation will be zeroed out and offset by removing it from the carryover that was shown in 14. This is necessitated by the transfers out to budgets 2 and 3 below that was in a 2013 capital mod 4 budget. Item 2, Tribal Council House, capital budget. New budget requesting expenditure authorization of $3.5 million for the construction of a new Tribal Council House from carryover funds per capital mod 4 that was in 2013. Item 3, Tribal Complex roof replacement under capital projects. New budget requesting expenditure authorization of $3,742,000 for Tribal Complex roof replacement from carryover funds. Item 4, Tribal Complex construction, capital projects, new budget requesting expenditure authorization of $5 million for improvements to the Tribal Complex from carryover funds.
Can I hear a motion? Any questions first?
Yeah, can I? Jody, what are just some of those facility improvements?
There's actually a list that's in it's behind that budget, and I mean, there's a pretty substantial list. It's not in, it's in the original 2004. I can send you a copy of it.
Just make a sheet of that.
Yeah, there's actually a very long list and a smaller number to try to fund all those.
I don't know if I got that,
options.
but if you just make a copy.
I'll send you a
that'd be
copy.
fine. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Do I hear a motion for the approval of the capital budget?
Make a motion.
Second. Okay, hear a second. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Ayes have it. Next, number 3 is coming up. It's discussion of the Terrell Law. Elizabeth Odell, would you please come forward for a moment?
The Attorney General had a prior engagement and is not able to be here, but we are working on this issue, and we just request a month to be able to finish our work on it.
Okay. Do I hear a motion?
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and tabled. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed?
Thank you.
Table for 1 month. Now we're on to number 4, which was added. It's discussion and possible action over the Cherokee Nation smoke shops. Councilman Thornton.
Thank you. Yes, the smoke shops, subsidy and their tax is running out this month. And what I would like to propose is that be carried over until the smoke shop compact becomes legal. And we thought that the compact would already be settled, so we set it to the end of this month. So I guess I'll just go ahead and make the motion, we can discuss it. I'll make the motion that we carry over the subsidy and the taxes for the smoke shop.
Second
What would be the, not the employees, it's the leasees.
Leasee subsidies.
Yeah, smoke
The
shop
motion's been
leasing
made to bring it into
subsidies.
discussion by Thornton, the second by Don Garvin. Just to bring it
Point of
into
order
discussion.
or point of information, I thought that was a motion for action on, and I couldn't understand the date. So can you re-clarify the motion that's under consideration?
It's a motion to continue the subsidy after this month, October. This is the last month.
Is it a
Well,
fixed date,
I don't
or
know
is it just until perpetuity that the there's a new,
September's the last day, there'll be a new one carried on, and should carry it on till the smoke shop compact is in effect.
The subsidy that was approved was done for a year ago, so.
Well, it was
I
6
mean,
months
and
ago.
to expire now.
Yeah,
That's
it
what
expires
you're talking about.
now, right.
I have questions then. So what happens if we don't sign a compact? Because I haven't heard
Sign a
any news, so I mean, I
compact.
think that's very real.
They've got about 9 nations that won't sign a compact, and they went over to a black stamp for the state of Oklahoma, and that means they're not paying any taxes at all. And one of those nations is Katuwa. So if that happens, then if we don't have a compact, then I imagine it'll be go over to the black stamp.
So does that mean we continue to provide a subsidy, or what happens?
No, not if it comes to that.
So do we need to clarify that in the motion?
That means that the state won't receive any type of funding as far as the tax or anything of that nature. We've got 9 tribes doing that right now.
So we as a nation will collect tax, but nobody else gets any tax? So does that motion need to be triggered by that that's a change in circumstance? 'Cause I imagine right now we kind of look like we're in limbos, and so I'm
Well, I don't know where we're at with the compact. Sharon may call in some on that.
And I would also like to know, is Sharon still here? Oh, yeah, right there. Okay, so how much does this cost us every month?
I have that number, actually.
And do you have any status on the
It cost us about $65,000 a month.
$65,000 a month? And then, where are we at with the compact? What's going on?
I'm gonna let Sarah address that.
We're still in active negotiations with the state of Oklahoma. We've been granted an extension. I say granted, we've agreed to joint extension until October 31st. It hasn't been signed yet, but we've got, it's been agreed to, and we just need to get it signed by the chief and signed by the governor. And we'll have an extension until October 31st.
So we anticipate
30
a change in
days.
circumstances in 3 months, possibly, is
By
realistic.
October 31st, we intend to have a new compact. Now, I can't ever guarantee anything, if that's our intent.
Okay, thank you
And-
very much.
I would just like to clarify,
You realize that new compact's going to have to pass through this council?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I just want to clarify that this subsidy is coming from general fund and not from tax commission, tax collections, because that violates the compact, so.
Just for the record, how much does the smoke shops pay us?
Total smoke shop revenue for cigarette and tobacco tax each month. Cigarette tax was $254,114.05 for the month of July, and tobacco tax was $62,000, so a little over $300,000 a month in taxes. And year to date, we've collected right around $3 million in cigarette and tobacco tax, and that does include all of our Cherokee Nation, our C&E shops.
Thank you very much.
Speaker Jordan.
I would like to see some paperwork, the exact wording on what we're contemplating voting on. I'm somewhat in a quandary because there was no money left in our gen fund when we finished our budget modifications, our budget, our approving our budget for FY14. I'm not sure if this means that we need to move some money around. We do not have, I don't believe, unless we take it from somewhere else, we do not have the gen fund dollars to move around. I would like to see the actual wording of what we're trying to do. I'm all for taking care of small businesses. I think I told you that 6 months ago or however long ago that we implemented these subsidies, but there has to be a point where we have to ask more questions about what we're doing here. So right now, with not more information, I'm going to have to vote no on this continuation.
That's fine.
Any other discussion?
I was just gonna, there is like $7,300 in our gen fund budget right now in 2014, so that's, you would have to move, make some cuts or move money to cover this, so.
Councilman Lang?
And Jody, so if this hit is 65,000 a month out of gen fund, and all the other money goes into the tax fund over with Sharon, I think, is that correct? Is that what I'm hearing?
Right.
So we would
I
have,
think there was a purpose for keeping it gen fund because of some legal issues and stuff, so it had to be general fund monies, not tax commission money.
so we, the council, we have to find 65,000 a month to fund it? Is that what we're looking at?
Right.
Wonder if we could just table this for a month. For 1 month and see where the compact's going.
Is that the motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Might I suggest one thing? They're extending their negotiations to October 31st. If you would table it for 2 months, that gets them past the end date and we'll know what the negotiations are. I'm just suggesting that.
Well, certainly to that October 31st level, and is what I'm hearing is you'll know by then, or you think you'll know by then?
And you have to, it's two parties trying to make an agreement, so I can never say that we'll definitely be done by, October 31st, but that's our intent. That's what we're attempting to do.
Sure.
Okay, we got a motion to table and a second
2 months.
for 2 months. Do you have the second, Harley?
Yes.
And that's non-debatable, so we'll vote on it. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Aye.
Aye. 3.
And I abstain, Shelley.
There's 4 at 12. Okay, it's motion table passes. Back to community assistance.
She's copying them. She does have everybody down to 0 now, I think, so
Madam Chair,
we'll just need to look at the names and.
I want to make
down
a comment.
Okay.
You had a handout here. It's, I'd like to put this on the agenda for next month. It's for discussion, possible action, so you'll have some time to review it.
Could I ask a question about that while
You bet.
This won't cost us any money just to form this, right?
We will not.
Okay. I'm already knowing.
Okay. Guys, there are some conservative people over there.
Unless David has some money she can.
I was trying to spend his money.
Well, I took what little he
He
had,
caught on to
so.
that.
All my money went to district one and district two.
Did you get some of his money, honey?
I tried to.
Oh, ain't no doubt you got some of his money, Tanya. I just don't know how much.
He was very kind.
Speaker.
He's got the copies.
You guys spend all my money, dinner on you.
Do what?
You guys spend all my money, dinner on you.
If you want dinner,
Yeah.
David, I will buy you dinner.
I've been sitting over there eating since we started this meeting.
I ain't starving in here.
Does he want dinner?
I'm gonna have to give him some fruit.
Starving to
I guess when you turn to the last page,
Starving to death.
last 2 pages.
Well, it still says I have $5,000.
Okay. I'll just bring in the complexes over.
Yeah, that works. You say.
Yeah.
There is a rounding difference, shows a -0 as a total, but that's just a rounding difference that on, so.
Everybody look over it and see if it's okay with everyone.
Keys First Baptist.
Okay, so we, because there's something missing here. There's another, let's redirect it.
Yeah, we need to redirect our emergency.
I do have a question, Jody. Did the newspaper fill out their paperwork or not? The newspaper. We give them that seed money?
I don't know that they actually did the paperwork.
Okay,
I'd have
have
to
they?
get with Gail
Okay.
and see if there's, we're requiring them to, but they probably should anyway.
He's got some redirect.
Any other changes need to be made?
I think David's got a change.
David, do you have a change, Tiny?
Yeah, at Keys First Baptist Church, they didn't get their W-9 turned in, so we're gonna redirect those funds to Keys FFA.
How much was that?
It's 167.
For three of
all
us. So it's 500 total.
Yeah. Jody.
So what was that again?
We're gonna redirect our Keys First Baptist money to Keys FFA.
The money from the church, is that what you're doing?
Okay,
Between the three of us.
okay.
Taken from the
6
church.
months.
No, it's you.
Oh, second? We need a second?
Oh, yeah. I was just having everybody check, make sure if everybody's okay with it. Do I have a motion? Thank you, Tanya.
Yeah.
I got a motion from Tanya. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you, Gail. Is there any announcements? The next meeting is tentatively scheduled for October 31st at 3 o'clock, Halloween.
Any community meetings coming up? Any community meetings?
Yes. I'd like to make an announcement. The three of us have a community meeting at Tahlequah Community Center on October 28th.
Okay.
We're going to have the photo IDs, hopefully the flu shots, and several other departments, so we'd love to see.
Stillwell will be having one on October the 8th, same as Tina.
Not the 28th, is it?
8th. The 8th.
Oh, okay, okay.
We're having one the 24th.
Any other announcements? Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I so moved, man.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.
October 28th.